Look at this graph on my phone screen. This is the health app data from last night. You see this flat line here? That is my heart rate at 11 p.m. 60 beats per minute. Resting. Asleep. Now look at 2:15 a.m. The line doesn't just go up. It spikes vertically. 140. 180. 200 beats per minute. That is the heart rate of a sprinter running for their life. Or someone fighting for their life. And look at the duration. It stays at 200 beats per minute for 3 solid hours. If I was running that hard, I should have woken up. I should have had a heart attack. But I didn't wake up. I woke up at 7 a.m. when my alarm went off. But I didn't feel rested. My legs were burning. My muscles were spasming like I had run a marathon. I tried to get out of bed, and I collapsed. My quads were hard as rocks. I sat on the edge of the bed and looked down at my feet. My sheets were white yesterday. Now, the bottom of the bed is covered in black, caked mud. There are pine needles stuck to my ankles. And there is blood under my toenails. Not my blood. My name is Ryan. I am a marathon runner. I track everything. I know my body. I know my metrics. I thought the watch was broken. A sensor glitch. So I opened the GPS map overlay on the app. If the heart rate data was a glitch, the GPS shouldn't show movement. But it did. A bright neon green line snaked out from my house. It went through the backyard. It jumped the fence. It went into the state forest that borders my property. But it wasn't a random path. It wasn't the aimless wandering of a sleepwalker. It was precise. The line moved in a perfect zigzag pattern. Back and forth. Back and forth. Like a search grid. Or like a predator quartering a field, looking for a scent. I zoomed in on the destination. The line stopped deep in the woods, about 5 miles from my house. It stayed in one spot for 20 minutes. The heart rate graph during those 20 minutes dropped. Not to resting levels. To 0. For 20 minutes, according to this watch, I was dead. Or the watch was off my wrist. Then, the heart rate spiked again, and the line traced the exact same path back to my house, arriving at 5:14 a.m., just before sunrise. I sat on the floor, picking dried mud off my heels. I had to know. I grabbed my car keys. I didn't have the energy to run, but I could drive to the trailhead and hike to the coordinates where the line stopped. It took me an hour to get there. The woods are dense. Brambles. Thorns. I found pieces of my own pajamas snagged on the bushes. A shred of blue cotton here. A button there. I was tracking myself. When I reached the coordinates, latitude 44, longitude -73, I found a clearing. The ground was disturbed. The leaves were kicked away. In the center of the clearing was a hole. It wasn't an animal den. It was rectangular. It was about 6 feet long and 3 feet wide. It looked like a shallow grave. But it wasn't freshly dug. It was old. The earth was packed down inside. But at the bottom of the hole, there was something new. My other sock. And a small, dead bird. A crow. Its neck was broken. And it was laid out perfectly in the center of the hole, like an offering. I drove home. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely steer. What was I doing? Was I possessed? Was I having a psychotic break? I decided I needed proof. Visual proof. I have a GoPro. I set it up on my dresser, pointed directly at my bed. I made sure the battery was full. I cleared the SD card. I put the watch back on. I cinched the strap tight. I locked my bedroom door. I put the key in a glass of water on the nightstand, so the sound would wake me up if I tried to grab it. I lay down. I didn't think I would sleep. But exhaustion is a heavy blanket. I blacked out. I woke up this morning. The sun was shining. The birds were singing. I felt fine. No muscle pain. No mud. I looked at the glass of water. The key was still there. The water was undisturbed. I looked at the watch. Sleep data, 8 hours. Quality, excellent. I laughed. It was just a nightmare. A lucid dream induced by stress. I got up and walked to the dresser to turn off the GoPro. The camera was gone. The mini tripod was there, but the camera unit was missing. I frantically searched the room. Under the bed. In the closet. Nothing. Then I looked at the watch again. I swiped to the activity log. Workout recorded, 3 a.m. Type, object transport. I opened the GPS map. The green line was there again. It went out the window. Down the drain pipe. Into the woods. To the hole. I ran to the woods. I didn't care about the scratches. I reached the clearing. The hole was filled in. Fresh dirt was piled on top, patted down smooth. I dug. I dug with my bare hands until my fingers bled. 2 feet down, I hit plastic. It was my GoPro. I pulled it out. The lens was cracked. I hit play on the file. The video starts in my bedroom. It shows me sleeping. At 2:59 a.m., my eyes open. But I don't blink. I don't look around. I sit up. My movement is mechanical. Jerky. Like a puppet on strings. I walk to the dresser. I pick up the camera. Now the footage is POV. I see my own hand unlock the window. I see myself climb down the drain pipe with impossible agility. I run through the woods. The camera shakes violently. The only sound is my breathing. It isn't human breathing. It's a low, clicking sound in the back of my throat. I reach the hole. I place the camera in the hole, lens facing up. I see my own face looking down into the grave. My expression is blank. Dead. But then, I speak. It's my voice, but the cadence is wrong. It sounds like synthesized speech. Upload complete, I say. Vessel integrity, 40%. Then I start shoveling dirt onto the lens. The screen goes black. But the audio continues. I can hear myself walking away. But I can also hear something else. Under the dirt. Next to the camera. Something else is in the hole with the camera. Breathing. Scratching against the plastic casing. I am holding the camera right now. I am packing a bag. I am leaving the state. I took the watch off. I smashed it with a hammer. But before the screen died, it flashed one last notification. Recovery mode active. Prepare for phase 2. My legs are starting to twitch again. I can feel the clicking in my throat. I don't think I can stop it. If you see a runner in the woods at 3 a.m., don't wave. Don't try to help him. Check your own pulse. Because if you can see him, he has already added you to the route.